critical situations. In Indonesia, in emergency department, we just have doctors, nurses, and midwifery. We don't have paramedics. So pre-hospital, not all can be done, especially in remote areas. Needs for clear competency framework specific to remote settings. In this case, nurses are expected to have the skills and competitions to carry out stabilization and evacuating by golden periods, especially in the response times. Skills must align with the unique local context and the patient needs. Health workers, especially nurses, must be able to adaptation to regional conditions and relate to culture, language, and community customs. This research objective aims to identify key competencies required by emergency nurses in remote areas using a modified Delphi method approach. And the method design modified Delphi method. Panel expert, we have 23 expert emergency nurses from health centers and hospitals in remote areas. And the tools, expert opinion questionnaire. We're doing 2 Delphi rounds. The first round is identify 24 initial competencies, and the second round is a research consensus on 12 core competencies. And the result is the first Delphi round for identification of initial competencies, that's 24 items. The proposed to collect a broad range of competencies deemed important by experts based on their real-life experience in emergency nursing in remote areas. And the process, the first, a panel of 23 experienced emergency nurses from remote health centers and hospitals in remote areas was engaged. And the second, they complete an open-end questionnaires listing all skills and attributes they considered essential in their practice, and the focus was on breadth, not limiting responses in order to capture the full complexity of the role. Result: a total of 24 preliminary competencies were identified covering various domains. We get 5 domains, including communication, decision-making, interpersonal skills, clinical skills, and contextual adaptation. This round served as an exploratory phase to build an initial framework to further refinement. And the second Delphi round, we get consensus on core competencies being 12 items. The purpose to refine the list and identify the most essential competencies through expert agreement. And the process, first, the same panel reviewed the 24 competencies identified in the first round. And the second, each item was rated on a Likert scale for the score 1 for very not important and 5 for very important. Competencies with at least 70% agreement as important or very important were retained. And the result is a final list on 12 core competencies was agreed upon, reflecting the most critical skills required in remote emergency settings. And this round we get a 4 domain for the second round: communication, decision-making, interpersonal skills, and clinical skills. Discussion. Nurses in rural setting require adaptive roles. Here at 2012. Fast decision-making and communication are essential. Succeed 2010. Interpersonal and cross-sector collaboration is key. Edo 2019. So all studies for contextual and competency-based framework. Emergency nurses in remote areas need both technical and soft skills. Communication and decision-making are critical under pressure. Finding support development of targeted training programs and policies should reflect contextual needs of rural healthcare. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is my conclusion. We got 12 essential competencies identified and grouped into 4 domains, and finding aligned with global research in rural emergency care, basis for emergency-based training and policy development, enhances quality and safety in pre-hospital care in remote regions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bai, for the beautiful presentation. So we'll open to questions from the floor. Any question from the audience? Okay, so Ms. Bai, can you just give suggestions to improve your studies? So I think the first one is try to specify which area you have, the study was conducted in terms of the province, the country. So this will give some perspective of where the study was conducted. That is one. Also, when you introduce your study, so of course you had some very beautiful claims, but these claims were not supported or substantiated with the citation. So what are the sources of this information?
Thank you.
Yeah,
actually, this research I'm doing in Indonesia and in my island, West Nusa Tenggara, that have 3 islands and then many remote areas there. So the access and then the resource human, especially for the health worker, it's so very limited there. Yeah. So we hopefully that this research can get the government giving the health worker for the program training for increase the skills. That's all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Oh yeah. Actually, the Delphi method have 7 rounds, but I modified just 2 rounds for getting the consensus from the expert. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
Actually, I have a question. Actually, I'm doubt on the word called pre-hospital.
Yes.
What does it mean by pre-hospital?
Pre-hospital is treatment in outside hospital.
So that's more to the non-hospital setting kind of clinics?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So maybe because I noticed there were in few slides you use hospital and clinic, health center and hospital. So that 2 words will contradict with your title, pre-hospital. So you have to be very specific because in the title you have already mentioned that pre-hospital nurses in remote areas, correct? But in your result or in one of your methodology, I have observed that you use the results that you have obtained, the Delphi study results that you have obtained from the hospital and health center. So this is not correct. So you have to make it align.
The pre-hospital, I mean that nursing doing treatment for the patient in outside, like the pre-hospital cases, that if someone calling the nurses, and then we have the pre-hospital nurses like patient safety center, like that.
So
it's very different in Indonesia and Malaysia. Malaysia have paramedics and Indonesia don't have paramedics.
So are they going to be like similar to paramedic? Medical assistant? No. They are registered certified nurses.
Yeah.
Alright, so probably you can take a look and your result part and be specific.
Yes.
Yeah, the setting was.
Okay,
Alright, thank you. So next, thank you, Miss Bai. So next, we would like to call Miss Amina Rizzi to to present on the review on the development of technological, pedagogical content, knowledge, teaching modules for nurse educators.
Dear Chairman, I am Dr. Farida, and respected panelists, Dr. Idris Adawal, and respected Professor Devi Nala, and my dear colleagues, participants, Assalamu alaikum. Hello, and also Tajaha for Chinese, and for Indians, Namaste. My name is Nath. I'm going to start once the slide is there. No, I said excuse me.
Infections in doing cases outside of the hospital for stabilization and evacuating for more intervention in hospital.
Presenting a technology-related theme, and still we are overcoming the technological issues. Okay. I'm from Maldives, Republic of Maldives, but I live currently in Malaysia.
It's a miscommunication, maybe. Misunderstanding.
And a lot of people think I'm Malaysian sometimes. I take it as a compliment. Okay, please ignore all the writing of the abstract just to show you. My abstract is in the soft copy of number 27. You can have a look upon later. And some people ask, where is Maldives? It's 1.5 meters above the sea level, but visible. It's still there. Still there. And you see the red color circle, the dot, that is the impact of my hometown. My beloved mother is over there. And I'm proud to stand today here presenting, although I am all alone from Maldives here. This is not my first time presenting in this university an event. Over there is with my professor. She is the backbone of my study, research and everything, so I'm very grateful that I'm here right now because of her too. Okay, that's the introduction of my place and the setting. My module, the theme of my research, I'm doing PhD in UITM currently, so my research is based on a technological pedagogical module, okay, PP, I will say TPEC model. So it means technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. What is she talking about? Some will think, what is she talking? Have you come across a teacher who stand and talk and go, you know nothing, but you also remember a teacher who come and explain everything. So that is pedagogy, the way of teaching. You understand the teacher, that is the pedagogy. So I'm focusing on, my theme is nurse educators learning how to teach their modules with pedagogy. Okay, the background of my study is actually increased role of technology is emerging. So that means nurse educators are very needed to learn on how to deliver the using the technology enabling. And today's why we are focusing on the root cause. Remember in the keynote, professor said what? We should care for the farmers. Why should we care for the farmers? Because from them our crop comes. We should care for the nurses. Why? When the well-being depends on the people who care for you. So who will care for them? Who cares for the nurses? Us, right? So nurse educators need to be very well training these nurses to the community. They need to be aware on good pedagogical teaching modules. Therefore, my entire guiding of the module is depend on how to deliver content using this. The situation is that just now I explained a little bit about global shortage and we need, why it is important. So since it is 5 minutes, I'll just compress and then in the question and answer, I will be answering, okay? So this is the method I use for the research methodology. Many of the researchers are well aware about the like screening, searching, data collecting, funneling, then all these stuffs I have been doing and still ongoing. But for this short period of time, I took the developmental phase of the module. So I'm presenting currently the process of development of the module. And the search, what I used is in this screen, how I have assessed and what are the data collected. Believe me, this module is not only focusing on discipline of nursing, mathematicians, physicians, many chemists, pharmacy, many people have used the TPEC model of integrating technology in teaching module as a teaching module. So my research, these two questions of the research, I have focused on what is the component of the TPK is the first one, and I also answered the second question in how to appraise from the literature what are the important points I must focus when I'm developing the module. Too many literatures are there, so it was very overwhelming to funnel all the literatures. However, I just did the need analysis of the literature, and these are the literature like you see the Ali et al, Sider et al. I will not read author by author because every slide, if I read the references and things, it will be time consumed. But I just put two significant literature just to show you. Okay, everybody, findings. Scopus have identified like, you see the blue line over there, the circle? Everybody see? Hello?
No.
You can't see. Over there, the blue, that is the nursing discipline. But the red, green, purple, and from the distance I know when I will get nervous. I also cannot see the yellow part over there. But still, you can ask me later the questions, I will tell you. Okay? So this is the documentation from the countries like over here. Many countries have done, but not in my country yet. Alright, now coming to the result part. After doing all the literature search and then data from the literature is synthesized to come up with these are the points. TK, the tool used to enhance teaching. Then what is it? Like CK, content knowledge. Let me simplify. You want to make a pancake. What is TK? The tools needed to make the pancake. That is the technological part. Maybe you need an electrical stove or something. Okay, CK, what is the content? I found the ingredients of the module from the literature. These are the parts that should be in the module, so from the literature. And then the PK. PK is how to teach, how to make the pancake. We know the ingredient, we know the recipe, how to do it. Okay, whisk the egg, put the flour, put the water, and then, hunger is gone. We ate it. Okay? So this is the end. Currently, the result discussion on what is the good outcome or bad outcome, I have no idea yet because the module need to be established. It is on the development phase and the content for the module is now finalized. In future, recommendation for my study is like, this is the benefit for the nursing and blah 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 blah, like the nurse educators, nurse researchers, nursing students, and please, sorry, I'm rushing, okay, but each and every point, the literature would be there in the paper. So over here, I just put the points not to confuse the slide. So this is my conclusion, final. The TPEC module is very needed in order to navigate the normal nursing modules. Like I'm not going to bring a new module to teach. No, the nursing educators can integrate the TPEC module into their teaching module, and then it is an integration and enhancing their teaching to enhance the pedagogy of nursing education. So thank you very much. I hope I have covered within the time period, and that's all.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Amina, for the very wonderful presentation. It was very engaging. Thank you. So, any question from the floor? Anyone? Any question from the members?
I would welcome them to ask because it will guide me to include more things.
So any question?
Thank you, Amina, for the beautiful sharing. So just a very simple question here. So this, would it be in forms of maybe apps or how, in what form, do you want to, these photos will be presented? So is it in terms of apps or just kind of maybe website, or how will the modules look like? How do you want to?
Thank you, Dr. Yes, I have missed mentioning that point over there. It will be like a hard copy module, but it can be incorporated into a learning management system of any university or institute, and I'm going to sell it later to my country. So that's my purpose of making the blueprint. So it will be not an application app or something, and it's not freely available either. So the government must buy from people. That's my target. We need to empower everybody to do our research on heart.
Okay, so I have just a question. So based on what is the limitations that you find so far? The research gap that you find out, so that that helped you to come up with this model. Could you please explain on it?
Yes, I found the gap is that some countries actually, please forgive me for any professor, I'm not offending anybody, but some come for the profession not by qualification. Some come to the profession just by experience, they just join the university or maybe some means of university joining. So despite how they come to the university academia, I found from the literature the gap has identified that their weakness they are not expressing only from the studies I found out. So this is a strengthening point as well as a weakening point because it's very difficult for me to get data from literature. The gap is novice nurse educators need guidance and there is no specific programs in some countries, but Malaysia they have a program for nurse educators. They must get the teaching qualification license before they enroll in the academia. But some countries it's not like that. It is in my extensive literature.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Amina, for the sharing. So the next speaker, Annie Shafiati. She will be presenting on the dangers of consuming illegal herbal medicines sold through e-commerce, which have a side effect on chronic diseases. So we are running out of time. Please stick to 5 minutes so that we can have enough time for the rest of the presenters. Proceed.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. It's already afternoon anyway. Today I want to explain about my systematic literature review about the dangers of consuming illegal herbal medicine sold through e-commerce, which have side effect on chronic disease. Okay, I focus with this study about to know trend issue in Indonesia and every country about using the medical herbs, but many medical herbs that sold in like e-commerce like Lazada in Indonesia, they have Lazada, Shopee, Tokopedia, some kind of that e-commerce that they sold illegal medicine, but they say herbs, but consists with many metal herbs and consists with dangerous metal, something like that. That the rise of e-commerce enable with spread distribution and illegal herb medicine in everywhere with e-commerce. And these products are often unregistered and contain hazard substance and are marketed as safe. For example, in Indonesia, many women buy the herb medicine for lose weight and then for skincare, something like that. But so many overclaim with this product, something like that, and many effect or side effect from this if that person consumption with the medical medicine herbs in with unregistered like that. Some side effect from this medicine, like chronic disease patient, for example, diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disorder, and sometimes I see from the any study that there's cancer like that. Lack of regulation and transparency raise major public health and concern. For research objective, to systematically review the literature on first in adverse effect of illegal herb medicine sold via e-commerce. So I focus with this study to know how about the damage herb medicine illegal to sold in many e-commerce, and then particularly in patients with chronic disease that kind of like cancer and then cardiovascular, something like that, and to assess the regulatory challenge in controlling distribution of the illegal medicine, focus with the herbs medicine. About the method steps to systematically review the literature. First, using the database search, PubMed, Scopus, and then Science Direct, Google Scholar, and then time frame around 2020 until 2025, guideline for Prisma. Inclusion criteria, the review studies focus in illegal or unregistered with medicine, herbs, or herbal medicine, chronic disease population, and e-commerce distribution, like from Lazada, something like that. And quality appraisal, I using GBI tools. This is my Prisma flowchart. I get 15 articles that can I using for this study, for my systematic data review. This is, I found some major finding or key finding, but in 15 articles that say the side effect from the medical illegal herbs that consist with cardiovascular, cancer, and then hepatotoxicity and others. And another country said that many people using the herbs medical illegal to lose the weight and something like that, and then for stamina, when using that herbs medicine, like there is in China that they use the herbs medicine for stamina, something like that. And then this is my farm research, article research. Okay, after in 15 article that composition undeclared pharmaceutical agents, there is steroid and NSAID and heavy metal consist in the illegal herbal medicine, and giving the adverse effect. The effect is number one, it's nephrotoxicity in the kidney, and then next, it's damage to or giving the side effect to cardiovascular disease, and then there is hepatotoxicity in another research, and then there is the last one, a worsening chronic illness. So, for example, in cancer patient, they in Indonesia many cancer patient using the herbs medicine to move, giving the movement healthy, and they don't know what consists the herb medicine is it. So it can make the cancer patient worsening of chronic illness, or maybe make them, their health worse. Okay. The finding major in e-commerce role can make most products were sold on unregulated online marketplace, so anyone can buy it, and there is no. Okay. And then minimal oversight and no quality assurance for that medicine, and then high accessibility to vulnerable population, and then misleading advertising as safe and natural and traditional, so people want to buy it. Regulatory challenge that weak enforcement of existing laws, lack of collaboration between health and digital commerce sector, and then inadequate cross-border surveillance, and the last one, low public awareness and product risk. So that's why we must give the education more about the illegal medicine, especially for herbs medicine. Public health implication that increased risk of medical complication in chronic disease, and then economic burden due to complication on hospitalization, and erosion trust in legitimate herbal and traditional medicine. So not all of the herbal tradition is safe. So we must do the education to people what the dangers of consumption illegal medicine, especially in herbs medicine. This is my conclusion. Illegal herbal medicines sold online for serious health treats, especially for chronic disease patients like liver and then something kidney like that. And there is an urgent need for regulatory action and surveillance, consumer education, and the last one is multi-sector collaboration essential to protect public health. This is my recommendation after I find the systematic regulatory review that police regulation, we need to strict frameworks online herbal products sales and mandatory registration and labeling, and surveillance, strength digital market monitoring for education, especially for health, raise public awareness on risk or illegal herbal use, and power patient with healthy literacy. Especially we are nurse, I'm a nurse, and we need to giving the education to the patient how to using the good medicine for them like that. Okay, thank you.
Very much beautiful sharing. So open to questions from the floor. Questions? Yes.
I don't have a question. I have a statement to make.
Okay.
So let them ask questions and then
Yeah, question. Please go ahead, Ms. Amina.
I would like to ask, in your literature search, did you include the famous online shopping names?
Yes. Oh no. In the article,
Yeah.
no. They not mention it, but I mean in Indonesia, it's so many e-commerce like Lazada, Tokopedia, Shopee that they sold herbs medicine, but there is no unregistered like BPOM. In Indonesia, we have the BPOM to control the sold the medicine like that. But with so many medicine say they said safe, but there is no unregistered.
So it's not in the article, you didn't write.
Oh no, just only general e-commerce.
In presentation also, I think as your colleague, I suggest don't tell the website names.
Okay,
because
sorry.
in future when we go to other international conferences, they might sue us.
For avoid the
We have to be very careful.
But okay, thank you for the recommendation. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
thank you.
go ahead.
Okay, sorry. My name is Abdul. I have one question. You mentioned about some medicine or herbal medicine, they have side effects.
No,
No?
sir.
Uh-huh.
No.
Only you mentioned only about the medicine illegal,
Yes, there is
about
no
some
unregistered.
websites.
Yes, but in any article that said, like for example, in article from China, there is herbs medicine that there is consists with metal heavy, that can make a side effect like cancer, something like that. But they sold in e-commerce that say it's safe, but not unregistered. For example, like that. That's I found in that article.
That's when you mentioned about non-registered, because the medicine for website we can very difficult to sell, but maybe use herbal medicine as supplement. That's you mean?
Yes,
That's you mean, yeah?
Yes.
Supplement, no medicine. Because medicine, what we know, which are pharmacists, they have, scientific names or like that. But supplement like that, maybe some herbal medicine, together it's okay, under each name. But for medicine, I think it should be under specific name. Maybe Dr. Prophet Rees or Dr. Shiz, I don't know.
Yeah, usually most of the drugs will currently be registered by the Ministry of Health. But for other medicines, I think they have quite strict, but not as strict as the pharmaceutical drugs. But for other medicine and all this, a lot of people are actually taking advantage of the less strict rules. So people are actually taking advantage of that. Yeah, it's a very good observation. Prof. Saiful.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Professor Dr. Saiful Ahmad. I'm a medical doctor and a PhD, and I was with Ministry of Health, and I joined a university, Professor of Medicine. And I was with the Institute for Medical Research, a consultant to the Institute for Medical Research Malaysia for about 20 years or so. And they did a lot of research on this herbal medicine. And I was roped into validating these herbal medicines. There was a lot of political pressure to expedite herbal medicines because it was a big business, and I remember we looked into herbal medicines, and you see, because if you go to pharmaceuticals, okay, you get it from plants, and then you refine to a single compound, and then you go to rigorous phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials, and you put into thousands and many thousands of people until you get actual verifiable results and to see the efficacy of people. But herbal medicines don't go through that. They take a whole mishmash of they take in either stem or leaf or root or something, and then they go through a crude extraction process, and then they say this is your herbal medicine. You understand? And when we run it through flow cytometry, we ran it through chromatograph, GCMS, MSMS. We ran it through all the chromatographs that we have. We found between 50 to 100 to 150,000 compounds in there. Some of them were I think you can sit down, is it? Okay. Some of them were compounds which were good for you. Some of them which were neutral, and some of them which were actually bad for you. And it was this whole mixture of compounds. Some of them which were bad for you, negative for you, and some neutral for you, and they vary from day to day. They vary on whether these plants were grown in the shade or plants were grown in were extracted from the in the jungle, or the plants were grown in sunlight, and it varies from batch to batch, and it wasn't consistent. Even the so-called Tungkat Ali or Kacik Fatima or whatever, the plants which were supposed to be endemic to Malaysia, which were supposed to have all these effects. And there were big conferences, and we had people from all the major organizations in Malaysia, Multi, Frame, and whatsoever, in all the various universities, and we came from the Ministry of Health. We couldn't organize this. And lastly, we decided, okay, fine. As long as isn't adulterated by heavy metals, isn't adulterated by any of the pharmaceuticals, okay, we just allow it to be placed as natural formulation and allow it to be used as a supplement only, due to heavy pressure from this lobby for natural products. That's all. Okay, and because we were getting pressure from the Prime Minister's department to allow this to happen. Okay, all the scientists, all the medics were not happy with it because the science shows that it doesn't really work. Okay, but we were forced to allow this to happen, so we allowed it to happen, allowed it as supplement only. But what happened? These people, when we allowed this to happen as supplement, they began to claim that this reduce your blood sugar level, this cured cancer, that this as a hemato-oncologist, which I treat leukemia, lymphoma, this just pisses me off. Okay, so but they are allowed to claim, and they have this massive lobby behind them. And if you oppose them, this causes votes, and the politicians say no, allow this to happen. So your legal herbal medicine, okay, you're talking about illegal herbal medicine. Your legal herbal medicine is a lot of nonsense anyway. So I'm here to stand up, so you can crucify me, but it doesn't matter. Next week I'm gone from Lincoln anyway. Okay? So they don't like me to stand up and say things in Lincoln, so they kick me out anyway, so it doesn't matter. So even the legal herbal medicine, they make all sorts of claims, but they're supposed to be supplement only, just like you are making supplementary vitamin if you are not taking enough vitamins. That's it, it's supposed to be. Right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you. So next, we would like to welcome Ms. Octavia Devi to present on the applications of SWOT analysis as a strategy for medical waste management in the independent practice of dentists in Pekanbaru City, Indonesia.
pleasure to be here with you all. But first, let me introduce my name is Octavia Dewi. I'm from Hamburg University, Pekanbaru, Riau Province, Indonesia. I like to present our article with the title Application of SWOT Analysis as a Strategy for Media Waste Management in the Independent Practice of the East Pekanbaru City. So let me start. All healthcare facilities will produce medical waste, including the practice of dentists. Based on report of previous research in Pekanbaru City, each independent dental practice of dentists produce 4.62 kg of solid medical waste. It is indeed small in quantity. But if 477 dentists produce that, the total solid medical waste produced in one day will be 2.194 kg or more than 2 tons of medical waste each day. The problem is waste management is done properly according to the rules such as sorting is not good, transportation of medical waste to temporary shelter is not in accordance with the rules, the temporary storage space is not available or does not follow the rules, and destruction of waste that is not in accordance with the rules such as being thrown into the waste. So, we as a researchers raised to the topic of research study to design a strategy for medical waste treatment in dental practice in Pekanbaru City, Riau, Indonesia, using SWOT analysis. The objective of this study are step 1, identify internal is strength and weakness, and external is opportunities and its factors influencing medical waste management. And step 2, to formulate actionable strategies using SWOT analysis of medical waste management in independent dental practice. The method of the research is exploratory design and data collection using focal group discussion with dentists and interview with stakeholders. SWOT analyzed with IFAS and EFAS metrics, or the internal factor analysis summary and external factor analysis summary. The result of the IFAS and EFAS calculations are obtained from the SWOT analysis coordinate points, so that the quadrant of the strategy to be taken is determined. Finally, the SWOT analysis metric was created to determine what strategy to take for the best dental medical waste management. The result of the research were obtained. Internal factor strength is knowledge, source of funds, facilities, and tools available, and wearing personal protective equipment. Internal factors weakness is human resource, lack of rules and laws, training, lack of container access. External factor opportunities is health policy, eco-friendly materials, digital platforms, and external factors. Risk is the pollution, unregulation practice, unauthorized waste usage. And based on the calculation of IFAS and EFAS, the result of the SWOT metric coordinate calculation are at x-axis is minus 0.1945 and y-axis is minus 0.175. The strategic position is weakness and flat quadrant is critical mitigation needed. The discussion, the research is